A mysterious death of a farming couple? Who's behind the tragedy? And how will the couple's relatives infuriate the psychics? A shocking investigation. This is Psychic Investigations, a project of true and astonishing stories. Here, people with supernatural abilities investigate resonant criminal cases and unbelievable mystical anomalies. A small Ukrainian village. Population around 500. However, within a single day, something occurred that shook the entire region. It began when Nataliia Huz, age 31, the wife of a local farmer, was found dead in the yard of her own home.
According to the official police report, Nataliia died from electric shock. She was preparing food and went to the backyard to collect water from a pump. 30 minutes later, her husband returned from work and found her lifeless.
My brother came home and found her on a pile of scrap metal. She was already dead. No one knows what happened.
She was seen in the backyard, which is visited rarely, as it is used to store scrap metal. The water pump she was heading to is 20 meters away. Her relatives have no idea why she went there.
The official version says Nataliia supposedly grabbed a cable overhead, which was partially exposed, and died from an electric shock.
Why would she go there at all?
Why walk into a pile of scrap?
The first thought was maybe someone helped her die. None of the neighbors saw anything.
And the next day, before Natalia's funeral, her 38-year-old husband, Oleksii, was found with a gunshot wound to the abdomen.
The police concluded that Oleksii Huz couldn't cope with his wife's death and shot himself.
It was terror and grief. You don't even process what's going on around you.
The entire village mourned. They were so young and never hurt anyone.
They were buried together. Oh, how awful.
I believe people are to blame for their deaths.
The locals and relatives don't believe the couple's death was just a coincidence.
I don't believe it happened for no reason. Both of their lives were cut short in one day.
The Huz family was considered one of the wealthiest in the area. Oleksii was a farmer, growing grain.
His business was booming. A new car, then another new car. Farm equipment, construction.
To uncover what really happened to Oleksii and Nataliia, their family turned to the psychics.
I believe they can help me.
Psychics Olena Kurilova and Jake Ryder take up the investigation. They arrive at the couple's house and immediately begin their work.
A woman planted these roses.
It was in this very house that the Huz couple lived happily for 17 years. And it was here that their lives came to an abrupt and shocking end.
Hello. I'm truly grateful you've come to help us.
As I approached the yard, I saw the spirit of a beautiful young woman. She pointed toward the roses, and I realized she was the hostess of the household. Was her name Nataliia? Did she love roses?
She did.
As I approached, I saw her image clearly. She had a rose in her hand, light brown hair, and so hospitable. She was always happy to accept guests.
Nataliia and Oleksii were indeed happy to welcome guests, especially children, as they had none of their own.
This house was always open. She was incredibly kind-hearted.
I need to go in the house.
I'll check around the yard.
Agreed.
Inside the house and out in the yard, everything remains as it was during Nataliia and Oleksii's life.
She's alive. She walks there from here.
After Oleksii's death, all his equipment was brought back here. The yard is vast. The work has stopped. Since there was no will, it's unclear who will inherit what. To keep the farm afloat, Oksana, Oleksii's sister, has taken charge.
Who would have thought this could happen?
The psychic retraced Natalia's usual path from the kitchen to the water pump.
She carries the bucket. Water is over there. She walks this way. And this is where she passed away.
Yes.
The cable was here.
Yes, but it was removed.
The family says Oleksii had long planned to fix the cable, but hadn't rushed, as no one usually passed through this area.
He blamed himself for not insulating the cable.
But how did Nataliia end up on the pile of scrap metal?
I sensed that she was frightened. She thought someone or something was near and started backing away, terrified. She trips over a piece of metal and drops the bucket of water. To keep her balance, she grabs whatever is within reach. It's the electric cable. Pain shoots through her, and she dies.
But what or who scared Nataliia so badly? Was someone else in the yard?
I sensed someone's presence. Natalia's death was not an accident.
At the moment Nataliia was electrocuted, her husband, Oleksii, was working in the wheat field, trying to call her. She didn't pick up the phone, and so he raced home.
He falls to his knees, crying and shaking her. He thinks, I need to get the car and take her somewhere. The hospital. But he was late. Her heart had stopped.
Oleksii drove his wife to the nearest hospital, but she was already dead.
Is this the room where Oleksii was found?
Yes.
It all feels too strange.
The day after Natalia's death, on the morning of her funeral, Oleksii went inside to change clothes. Relatives waited outside, when suddenly they heard a loud noise.
I heard a bang. We rushed in and saw him on the floor. I leaned over and said, Oleksii, are you okay?
Oleksii was found shot with his own rifle, which was discovered beside his body.
The police concluded that Oleksii committed suicide. But who did the medium see next to him? Could Oleksii have been murdered?
I needed to consult Olena immediately.
Nataliia and Oleksii were very well off. A strong, hard-working family. They built everything with their own hands. They had money, and with money comes envy.
Oleksii truly worked hard over 20 years, built his business from scratch.
He leased land, grew grain crops. Then he expanded to larger plots. Maybe some people thought, Huz has a great piece of land.
Naturally, plenty of people would love to take that land.
There's a man who seemed to be watching Oleksii constantly.
It was a spirit. He invited me in the house. Here.
Grandpa. Oleksii's grandfather.
Oleksii's grandfather owned this house. This is where he died. He took his own life to avoid being a burden. He hanged himself.
The elderly man suffered from severe vascular disease in his legs. It was incurable and painful.
He couldn't walk or do anything. And so he ended his life.
He loved Oleksii deeply.
Yes, from all his grandchildren, he loved Oleksii most.
Oleksii inherited this house from his grandfather Ivan.
He told him, come live here. It will be yours.
Oleksii moved in after marrying Nataliia. Before that, he lived with his parents across the road. But why did the clairvoyant see his grandfather's spirit?
Oleksii's grandfather was trying to protect them from the other side. He felt his grandson's life was in danger. He's showing me a withered tree. Let's go to the yard. They all withered. Oleksii clears it away and plants something new.
3 years ago, the cherry trees planted by Grandpa Ivan began to wither.
That was a sign.
A sign that neither Nataliia nor Oleksii understood.
It was as though the grandfather was trying to warn them that their deaths might be tied to something otherworldly. When Oleksii died, there was something next to him. Not a human, it was a supernatural presence.
So was Oleksii not murdered after all?
All the windows and doors in the house where Oleksii was found, shot were closed shut. There was no sign of forced entry. Therefore, most likely, Oleksii took his own life.
It's unbelievable. Did Oleksii truly take his own life because he couldn't live without his beloved wife?
After Nataliia died, he practically stopped talking to anyone.
He was lost. He was crying and shouting. Nataliia was everything to him. She was his mother, sister, wife, and lover, all in one.
So, did Oleksii love Nataliia so deeply that he simply couldn't go on, and that's why he shot himself? But still, how did Nataliia die?
It felt like a force pulled Nataliia into the beyond. Such events are usually caused through magic.
Can we go back there?
Of course.
The psychics head to the summer kitchen, where Nataliia was preparing lunch on the day she died.
Look, pins. Why so many? Where did they come from?
These are pins with spells on them. Pins are normally used for protection from the evil eye. But with specific magical rituals, they can be turned into tools of harm or be used for love spells or death curses.
The family says they found the pins after Nataliia and Oleksii's deaths. They suspect Nataliia might have done it, but what would her motive be?
I saw a woman and a magical book.
I see a woman too. She's related to Oleksii and she's somehow connected to their deaths. It was Oleksii's mother. I was shocked. Could she really have done something that led to the death of her own son and daughter-in-law?
She lives somewhere nearby.
The psychics go to meet Oleksii's mother, Valentina.
Hello.
Hello,
What's your name?
Valentina.
I'm sorry for your loss, but I have to ask. Tell me, did you have conflicts with your son or his wife?
We've learned Oleksii and his mother had a very difficult relationship.
I'm not interested in that. I only want to know what happened in that yard.
I immediately sensed aggression from the woman, and her energy was intense, like that of someone with supernatural abilities.
Tell me, please, where does your power come from? You don't even realize the power you have. Where's it from?
Valentina isn't surprised to hear the clairvoyant's words. She knows that her family line included people with psychic abilities.
My mother used to tell us about grandfather's father. He practiced magic. But that was 4 or 5 generations ago.
And who owned the Black Book?
That belonged to my great-great-great-grandfather. Grandma burned it.
She threw that book into the stove and the stove exploded. The house wall collapsed and the windows shattered.
So Valentina's great-grandmother burned the magical book. As a result, none of the descendants could access its secret lore. They had remarkable gifts, but didn't know how to use them. What set this family apart from others was their heightened sensitivity and powerful energy.
If I had truly strong energy, I would have protected my son.
As I looked at Valentina, I sensed she suspected why her son and daughter-in-law died.
I don't believe that he loved her so deeply he just took his life. I don't believe that love alone could be the reason enough to die.
Are you trying to say Nataliia cast a love spell? That's what you mean.
Yes, that's exactly it. I think Natalia's death was an accident, but as for Oleksii, it was the love spell that made him follow her into death. After we buried Oleksii, I found a box with his hair in the dresser. Why would somebody keep such a thing? Then, when her mother came to visit, the box vanished.
What was the box? Was it really used to cast a love spell?
Her mother might be able to answer that.
Valentina claims that immediately after the couple's deaths, Natalia's mother took nearly everything from their house.
To empty your child's home the night after her burial. Never in my life would I dare to do it.
Did she even take the gold?
Even the shoes he died in.
Oleksii's mother is convinced that after the deaths, Natalia's mother took the evidence of the spell, the box with her son's hair.
We decided to speak to Natalia's family.
God forbid, I don't even want to see them.
The psychics and Olena head to the home of Natalia's parents.
Hello.
Hello?
Natalia's mother, Nina Yaveliak, also refuses to believe her daughter and Oleksii died accidentally. She blames her son-in-law's parents for their deaths.
We're deeply sorry for your loss. But tell me, please, did you know your daughter couldn't have children?
My daughter isn't to blame. She had no problems. The issue was with her husband.
Did he see a doctor?
Yes.
There were always rumors that Natalia couldn't conceive. But they went to a clinic to be checked. And Oleksii later admitted it was him who couldn't have children.
Did you take anything from their home?
Only Natalia's belongings.
Gold money.
I didn't take any gold or cash.
In fact, Natalia's mother claims that Valentina and Oksana were the ones who took all the valuables.
They accuse me of taking money, but they won't tell they took everything from the safe. But let them have it. I don't care about the money. Nothing can bring my child back.
Suddenly, Oleksii's mother, Valentina, appears at the gate. She's come to hear what the psychics have to say.
The box with Oleksii's hair, you took it, didn't you?
Valentina insists that the box proves Natalia cast a love spell on Oleksii, knowing she couldn't have children, and used magic to hold on to him. She believes Natalia's mother deliberately hid the evidence to protect her daughter. But what's the real story?
You came and the box was gone.
I swear I never saw any box.
The love between Natalia and Oleksii. It defies words. Natalia never cast a spell. Love spells have a specific pattern. They last 6 months to 3 years. And the man affected becomes unlike himself and starts to feel sick and drink.
Natalia and Oleksii were together 17 years. Do you know how many spells that would require? Even the healthiest man wouldn't survive that.
And the box Valentina keeps asking about. Oleksii gave it to Natalia himself, so that when he traveled, a piece of him would stay with her.
Meanwhile, the grieving mothers continue to argue.
These women lost their children, and yet they're ready to tear each other apart.
Honestly, I never wanted that side of the family. They're not good people.
I didn't talk to her before, and I don't want to now. She cursed Natalia her whole life, and she even cursed her own son. May you be damned, she said. What kind of parent says that? Her curses killed them.
There were no curses, I only ever wished them well.
We spoke to the local residents. They unanimously confirmed that Valentina had cursed both her son and daughter-in-law.
Those parental words stuck to the children, and that's why all this happened.
She cursed them because she wanted grandchildren, because of the inheritance, because of the house.
She cursed them over that house. Leave the house, your sister should live in it.
Here we have a collision of human envy and maternal curses.
Those clumps of dark energy triggered the tragedy. A thief broke into their yard just to steal scrap metal. When Natalia went to fetch water, she heard a strange noise, went to check, and got into a scuffle. The man tried to push her. To keep from falling, she instinctively grabbed an exposed electrical cable. And that's what killed her.
Indeed, the Huz family kept scrap metal in their backyard. It was exactly on that pile that Natalia's body was found. Could her death, seemingly accidental, really be the result of maternal curses and human envy?
Perhaps through those pins, Nataliia was trying to shield herself from envy and the evil eye.
Your children are together now in heaven, but you keep fighting. They're asking you to make peace.
We'll go our separate ways and live as we lived before.
We have to say goodbye now. We're sorry. Farewell.
I'm so grateful to Olena Kirilova and Jake Ryder for coming here and opening our eyes.
A mystical force is trying to destroy an entire family. Who and why has bound a deadly supernatural entity to this family? Don't miss out. The psychics will uncover the secret of a deadly ritual. 45-year-old Valia Irishchuk from Ukraine is terrified of losing her children. She has 4 daughters and a 9-year-old son. Valia claims that an unknown sinister force, which has settled in their house, is trying to kill them.
It shows itself to us before something bad is about to happen.
It's so awful.
The first to feel the presence of the supernatural force in the house were Valia's younger daughters, Karina and Renata. One evening, the girls were watching TV in the living room when they suddenly heard footsteps upstairs.
Someone was walking up there. And then near the chandelier, it started stomping in one place. And the chandelier, these bulbs started moving.
The girls ran upstairs to see who was walking there, but found absolutely nobody. That night, the sisters didn't sleep. They sat together in the room until morning.
I was so shocked that I couldn't say a word.
A few days later, Renata saw a silhouette in the yard that scared her to death.
I was washing dishes and needed to take out the water, and I saw a man's silhouette. He was looking at me from the side.
She was shocked. Her hands were trembling.
Karina cautiously looked out the window and froze in horror.
It was a black silhouette, and it passed by so quickly. I was so scared that I couldn't breathe. I immediately phoned Mom.
Valia works in Italy, where she takes care of elderly people. The girl's father left the family long ago and disappeared from their lives. Their elder sisters live separately. One of them is a university student, the other is married and lives in Germany. So, the worried mother dropped everything and came home that same day. And on the first night, she saw the sinister force at her bed.
It was like someone grabbed my hand and pulled me. And I saw men's legs next to me.
But the worst was yet to come. The supernatural force began not just to scare, but to pose a real threat to the lives of Valia's daughters.
I gathered the clothes to do laundry and was going downstairs. When I stepped on the first step, I felt someone standing behind me, and I fell down.
Karina tumbled down the stairs and lost consciousness from the impact.
Someone pushed me in the shoulder here, and I woke up here. I broke my leg and this arm. This bone.
Karina was lucky to be carrying laundry, which softened the fall. If she had hit her head on the stone steps, she wouldn't be in this world anymore. And a week later, Renata ended up in the hospital with severe burns.
I heated some water to bathe and was going to take the pots and pour them into the bathtub.
And the same thing happened to her as to me.
Just like her elder sister, Renata was pushed in the shoulder with inhuman force.
I poured the water on myself. I immediately had a burn on my leg.
But above all, the family fears for the life of little Christian. Valia had him with her second husband, whom she met in Italy, another migrant worker like herself. The boy also sees the terrifying supernatural force that calls him somewhere at night.
He suddenly gets up and says, "I need to go. I must die."
The devil was calling me.
He said you had to follow him and...
Die.
He drew that devil. It has horns?
Valia sought help from the local priest, but the blessing of the house didn't help. She is in despair. She had this house built with money earned through hard work. Her first husband, with whom she was still living at the time, didn't contribute a penny to the construction.
This is my home into which I put everything because I earned and built it with my own hands. and now I'm scared to enter it.
The psychics are the woman's last hope.
I really hope the psychics can come and help us figure out with this.
Taking on the investigation of this mystical case are our project participants Yaroslava Fedorova and Olga Kalinova.
I had a vision. In it, I saw the two girls and their brother at home. Suddenly, the ceiling started to lower. They got scared and ran to the door. Suddenly, someone on the other side turned the key in the door, and I heard wild laughter.
Do you mean the children are trapped in the house? I had a dream of those two girls, and behind them stood a man. He was dark-haired and tall, and suddenly a rope appeared and started to wind around him. You know, like it was binding him. It almost reached his throat. Then, it turned into a snake, released him, and crawled towards the girls.
But who is this man? And what is his connection to this family? Was he dead?
Half alive and half dead.
I had another vision. A woman. I didn't see her face. She was holding some rectangular object and it seemed to be burning. The woman threw it, and everything around died.
Soon, the psychics are in the village, where Valia and her younger daughters are eagerly waiting for them.
May we come in?
We've been waiting for you.
I'd like to work with you.
Hold this. The card of death. A woman lies in a coffin with flowers.
I saw her dead in my dream.
Your mom?
Well, I had a dream in which she was lying in a coffin, dead, in this house. And next to her were my sister and two other sisters. They were all lying in the coffin. I was weaving a wreath from daisies, lifted my head and asked why she had died now, and then my nose started bleeding. The blood began to cover the flowers. I saw the floor completely red, and it was my blood.
This is horrifying. I'd like to see where the danger to your life is coming from. I saw something terrible near the girls. One moment, it seemed like a ball of lightning, and the other it was some kind of shadow. And then snakes started crawling around.
It was a nightmare. What lives on the territory began to attack Karina right before our eyes.
No, we won't let him take you.
My legs are going numb.
Calm down, calm down.
Please give me a chair. When the girl started feeling bad, we began to help. Yaroslava started chanting spells, and I prayed.
My legs are so cold I can't move them. It's like someone is holding them.
Strangely, not only did the clairvoyant see something terrible near the girls, but Karina herself saw it too.
A black shadow, like a black pillar.
I saw it too, but I didn't want to scare you. It's some kind of entity that can take different shapes and forms.
Bring water.
Look into my eyes, please. Are you better now?
Yes.
Thank God that horrible entity let the girl go. We need to work in the house to understand what's happening here.
Stop.
We were going to enter the house, but we heard a crash, like something had fallen and...
What was it?
This.
The wind couldn't have knocked it down. It was very scary.
Look, there's the spirit of the man. But who is he?
He's very young.
He's showing me a road, then darkness, a crash, and death.
It's horrible. It was like the man was ground up in a meat grinder. I see his arm hanging like this.
That's my friend.
He crashed in his car on the highway.
He crashed his car and died last winter. Vasya. We were friends.
When my friends told me he died, they sent me the photos. In them, he was in the car, and his arm was hanging like that.
I see him embrace you. And he's holding something like stones or beads. Something blue.
A bracelet. A present from him. We were camping in the forest. I took off the bracelet and put it in the car door compartment. It stayed with him, that bracelet.
He says, I loved you a lot.
I thought of him as a friend, but he was in love with me. He wanted to date me, but I refused.
Vasya was 5 years older, and for a 17-year-old girl, that was a significant difference. There was nothing keeping him in the village, so he decided to go to Belgium to work. On the way there, he got into a fatal car accident. This happened 2 years ago.
I blamed myself. I thought that if he hadn't gone there, if he'd stayed with me and gone in the other direction, he wouldn't have died.
So could it be that Vasya is the reason for what's happening in the house? Is he seeking revenge because the girl he loved so much rejected him?
If Vasya's spirit wanted revenge, he would only harm Karina. But the threat is to the whole family. The spirit of your friend doesn't wish you harm. He wants to protect you. Pray for him. He is your guardian angel. Even now, his spirit has come here to help. He's showing us something.
For some reason, he's showing another man who was supposed to die here with a rope. Who is it?
My husband, Genya.
Did he try to hang himself?
A few times.
Here at home. It was in the evening. I had already gone to bed. Then I heard something crash and thud. Then I went to the shed. I saw that the rope was broken. He tried to hang himself.
This second door?
Yes.
That's why the spirit of the young man who died in the accident brought us here. He was giving us a clue. Do you hear someone laughing?
Yes.
The laugh is unhuman. And the voices are changing.
Yes.
Incredibly, I heard terrible laughter in the yard. Valya and her daughters heard it too. But no one nearby was laughing. Everyone was too shocked by what was happening. And then I had another vision, the one I saw before the investigation, in which the ceiling was coming down on the sisters and brother in the house.
It's the entity.
On the day your husband tried to hang himself, he wasn't himself. The entity ordered him to do it.
He told us he'd seen the devil.
The same entity is trying to kill you.
But where did this entity come from?
And then Yaroslava and I heard Vasya's spirit again.
He says that the reason is something in the White House.
And there's an animal there, but it's not alive.
Like a statue.
My parents' house, where I used to live, is white. And there's a concrete statue of a bear there.
Can we see that place?
It's not far from here.
I keep seeing the vision of the rope turning into a snake. I think it might be connected to the girl's father. He did try to hang himself. This entity, it was sent, you see? But I can't figure out if it was sent specifically to a person or to the house.
Yaroslava and I were walking to Valya's parents' house when suddenly
Let's go there. It smells like burning.
There's smoke coming from that house.
Who lives in that house?
Everyone there died.
But if no one lives in that house, where is the smoke coming from?
This really scared me.
When we approached the house, we didn't see any smoke. It was as if it weren't there, and there was no one around, no one in the house, and no one around it. It's a completely empty place where nothing could burn.
It turned out that the owner of this house froze to death while he was drunk.
I see the vision again, the one I had before the investigation. A woman whose face I couldn't see was holding some rectangular object. It seemed to be burning. The woman threw it and everything around died. Now I see that there are some rags and something else burnt and thin inside the object. And now I see the woman's face. It's you, Valya. What is that in your hands? And you're throwing it over the fence.
The matchbox?
It was a matchbox. It was tied with a black thread. We found it near my parents' house. I wanted to see what was inside, so I took off the thread and opened the box. There was a candle inside. It looked like it had burned and there were some rags. I looked at it, closed it, and then threw it over the neighbor's fence.
You held it in your hands. Show me where you found it.
Valya takes the psychics to her parents' house. This is where she found the thing. But this is also where the spirit was taking the clairvoyance.
This is the beast.
Yes. Where exactly did you find it?
Over here, this spot.
Yaroslava, do you hear it? That horrible laughter again.
Yes.
From the energy coming from this place, I sensed that the charm was made by a woman. But it was not made for you, but for your first husband. You lived here with him when you found the charm, right?
Yes.
Did anything unusual happen to your husband on the day you found the charm?
Something happened to Zhenya that I never saw in him. He said his legs were paralyzed.
The thing that happened to Karina today.
Yes, it was the same.
He told me, but I didn't believe him.
Who made this charm for Valya's husband and why?
And you held this charm in your hands, right?
Yes.
So the energy of that thing remained on you. Can you hold it with your hands? See, a snake again. This is a love spell.
Some woman was trying to enchant your husband.
You only saw that woman once. She doesn't live here.
You know her.
She was involved in trade. She had dark hair.
I don't remember.
Many unpleasant details about Valya's first husband came to light. It turned out that he often drank and even raised his hand against his wife.
My father brought only tears and disappointment.
Moreover, Zhenya was quite a womanizer, and that dark-haired lady wasn't his only mistress.
He often cheated on me.
And one of his mistresses decided to take him for herself, using magic.
And then I realized what my dream meant, the one about a man being tied with a rope. Valya's husband was bound to someone, like with a rope, using a love spell, and it was done by a knowledgeable woman using otherworldly entities. Look, this is how he saw it. He saw an entity with horns, right?
When I was little, he told me what he saw. Ram horns, he said, and it laughed. That's what he told me.
The laughter has been haunting us here from the very beginning.
And he was losing his mind. Those entities were telling him what to do.
It was terrible. He was constantly drinking, coming home, and beating Mom.
Zhenya is to blame for what happened to him. He paid for his unfaithfulness, but he didn't bring trouble upon himself only. Now, because of him, his children are in danger.
When the woman who bewitched him saw what he had become under the influence of her spell, she kicked him out.
Yes.
A love spell never gives a person love. A love spell is a curse. And that woman didn't bother to lift the spell. So, the entity stayed with Zhenya forever.
But how did that entity get into Valya's new house?
Your father lived in the new house for some time while it was being built.
Yes.
That's when he brought the entity into your house, and it stayed there.
How do we get rid of it?
We need to cleanse your house of all this.
The clairvoyants spent several hours chanting prayers and performing rituals. Finally, they gave Valya and her daughters protective charms.
From now on, nothing will ever disturb you anymore.
I'm deeply grateful to you. I felt relief immediately, as if a weight had been lifted from my soul.
This is unbelievable. Because of their father's reckless life, his daughters almost ended up in the other world. A man's ghost is hunting his wife and children. Don't miss out. Will the psychics uncover the secret of a terrifying ritual? And what is the widow really hiding? Olena Kaplun lives in a small town in southern Ukraine. She is a mother of 2 daughters and works as a kindergarten teacher. The woman reached out to our program because she is convinced that the ghost of her beloved husband, Andriy, who died a few years ago, is about to kill her.
He strangles me.
Olena's 10-year-old daughter, Victoria, also sees the ghost in their apartment.
I feel like someone walks behind me.
The girl even started stuttering because of the shock.
I heard the door open.
The man died in an accident. At the time of the tragedy, Olena was pregnant with their second daughter. It's hard to even imagine what the woman went through. And then, right after the funeral, real horror began in the apartment.
I woke up to creaks and knocks on the door. I answered it, but there was no one there. And then my husband's portrait fell. You see, it couldn't be a draft.
The woman grabbed her older daughter by the hand in fear and ran out of the apartment.
And there was this step. I tripped over it.
Pregnant Olena rolled down the stairs and hit her head on the window in the stairwell.
God forbid anyone to experience something like this.
Olena could have lost her child and her life. Fortunately, everything turned out fine. However, since then, she has constantly been in danger. Olena is convinced that her late husband is taking revenge on her because she did not save him from death, although she could have. A psychic warned her about the danger.
You were filming the show, and I saw Kayal Alekperov. I asked him for help. And he predicted that I would soon have a child, and that my spouse, his death would be near a tree.
As it turned out, Kayal Alekperov advised Olena to save her husband from inevitable death and told her exactly what needed to be done.
He gave me candles and advice which I just didn't use because it slipped my mind.
A year later, Olena indeed became pregnant, and soon after, her husband died a terrible death.
Exactly a year later, not a day earlier, not a day later. He really died near a tree. He crashed. I blame myself for this.
The thought that her late husband might take her little daughters to the other side drives Olena insane.
I need help from the psychics.
We contacted Kayal Alekperov.
I remember this woman. What you're describing is probably her second husband's death. I warned her this could happen. But at the time she contacted me, he was alive, while her first husband had burned to death in her apartment.
We urgently contacted Olena, and she revealed something truly shocking. It turned out that she had already buried 2 husbands, both named Andriy. The first, the father of her eldest daughter, burned alive in their apartment under very mysterious circumstances. A new heater in the living room somehow caught fire, and the man couldn't escape.
This is terrible. Just terrible.
Both men died very young and in very terrible ways. This is not a coincidence, but a pattern. If the spirit of her late husband wanted to kill Olena, he would have done it long ago, as it's been 4 years since he died. It seems the spirit resorted to violence to scare her, so she would call us for help. He wants to stop the thing that took his life.
Kayal Alekperov, along with his colleague Yaroslava Fedorova, set out to investigate. On the way to Olena's, they work with the photos.
My sacred book says, skulls are a sign, don't miss it. Death is hidden at the bottom.
At the bottom of what?
I don't know. But I had a strange vision. A grave, next to which stood this woman, Olena, and several men surrounding her. She held a transparent vessel with something red inside, like blood. She took a sip, then kissed the men one by one, and they fell dead.
It looks very much like some kind of ritual.
It feels like Olena is hiding from us something very important.
I had a dream last night. I saw a dead young man, and suddenly he opened his eyes and said with difficulty, "It's all Svetlana's fault."
We need to find out from Olena if there is someone with that name in her circle.
What is this?
Yaroslava dropped her beads or something she uses for work. It made me a little wary.
There's dead energy here. Sorry, I can't leave it here. Do you have a piece of cloth or something?
Yes.
It feels like there is a spirit present somewhere near us.
Thank you.
I've been waiting for you. I'm scared.
Olena, let me assure you that your second husband's spirit doesn't wish you harm. It seems he tried to provoke you to seek help to stop the force that took his life.
For some reason, I see 3 letters. A.
Andrei was my first husband, and my second husband was also Andrei.
And who's the third A?
Can we go up to your apartment to work?
Yes, please.
Olena's daughters and mother are already waiting for the psychics in the apartment.
Hello? What are your names?
Victoria. Maria.
I got a vision of Maria standing with one foot in the grave. At that time, I didn't yet understand how bad things really were.
The girl's energy was indeed so weak, as if she was on the edge.
Olena's elder daughter stutters because she feels something otherworldly nearby. But is her younger sister really a step away from death?
For some reason, I constantly feel a cold draft from that part of the apartment.
There's a smell of death here, and something is burning my back. It's scorching.
I see what she means.
Wait, the ring was taken off a dead man.
Is this the wedding ring of your deceased husband?
Yes, the one who burned.
Olena says she chose this wedding ring for her first husband before the wedding, and now it is the only thing that reminds her of him.
You can't keep such things at home.
Are Olena's loved ones doomed to die because she keeps her first husband's wedding ring at home?
My jinns say that this ring from the dead man is pulling not men but the child to the other world, because children's energy is the most vulnerable. Your younger daughter is in serious danger. Wait. I was drawn here by this man from the photo.
This is the father of my second daughter, Maria.
He came to you in a dream and warned that his daughter was in danger.
Yes, I had such a dream. He came and said, "I'm here for Maria." And literally the next day, she fell asleep at the kindergarten and did not wake up for more than a day.
The mother called an ambulance. The girl was urgently taken to intensive care.
She was on the brink of death, and they told me to give up on her. She had oxygen deprivation of the brain. They said that if there was no blood flow to the brain, she would end up in a vegetative state.
But I hear a voice. A woman brought you good news.
I was told she had regained consciousness.
You must get rid of this ring immediately.
Leave it at a church.
Yes, I'll dispose of it.
We checked Olena's apartment, but it was all clean. There were a few options left. Either someone from the world of the dead was taking her men, or it was some kind of curse. There is a woman who envied your relationship with a certain man. She thought it was an unfair relationship, and she shouted at you, "I will make sure you have nothing and no one."
The woman is older than you. She's blonde, and there's a dark-haired man between you.
Another A.
Andre, we simply dated. My first love.
It's hard to believe, but in this woman's life, besides the two husbands named Andrei, there was another man with the same name, Olena's first love.
And who is the woman I described?
There was a woman who loved him and wanted him to be with her.
Olena did not know until the end that this woman was his wife, and Andrei was simply cheating on the poor woman.
How many years is that woman older than you?
5. This is Svetlana.
It's the name from your vision.
It's all Svetlana's fault.
So Svetlana is Olena's rival. Is it her to blame for all the misfortunes?
She came to me and said, "I will make sure you are never with anyone, never."
Here we are, a curse of loneliness. We just need to find this Svetlana.
Where does she live?
On the way to Svetlana's, Olena admits that 15 years ago, there was even a fight between her and the other woman.
There was indeed a fight, yes. She pulled my hair.
As soon as the psychics reach their destination, a woman comes out of the building.
Here is Svetlana.
Svetlana, hello. We came to see you.
What do you want?
All my husbands die.
What does that have to do with me?
After your words, after your curse, when you told me I would never be with anyone.
How could he date you and live with me?
You should have dealt with him instead of cursing me.
In fact, I see that the man you cursed Olena over was deceiving you too, Svetlana. He took advantage of the job and home you provided him. And he eventually dumped both of you.
But I didn't curse you.
Well, I had to defend myself.
Did you seek help from magicians or sorceress?
Never in my life.
Draw a card. No, you're innocent.
It was probably, just emotions when two rivals are sorting things out.
The curse sent by this woman couldn't have had the power to cause deaths. Svetlana said those words in the heat of the moment. They didn't carry a deadly intent.
So if Svetlana's not responsible for the deaths of Olena's husbands, then who was the young man in your vision talking about?
Oh my God. It's the second rosary that broke today.
Yaroslava, these are skulls. Skulls are a sign, don't miss it.
Look, one rosary broke there and another one broke here. I think we need to go back there.
There was indeed a deathly energy near Olena's home. We missed something important.
We urgently return to the place where the clairvoyant's first rosary broke earlier today.
All this time, I had the feeling that Olena was hiding something from us. And it turned out I was right.
The spirit of a deceased person presents here.
We need to try to contact the spirit.
We need wine and a glass for this. It feels like he's walking around here but can't approach us.
It's a young man's soul.
What's going on? The wine bottles seemed to be pushed by someone, and then we saw a kitten that came right up to Olena.
The deceased man's spirit is in the kitten. He wants to tell us something. He says, Olena knows everything. She is to blame for everything.
I don't know.
It's what the spirit says. You knew him. He was close to you.
Some kind of poison is spreading through his body.
It's Ihor. We were friends when we were young. We went to the same school, but I was a little older. But I liked him very much, and Ihor liked me.
It's hard to believe, but this young man, who was in love with Olena, also died 20 years ago, right in this building.
We entered and he felt unwell. His heart stopped and he died of an overdose.
The boy decided to try drugs. A teenage experiment ended tragically. Ihor died right in front of his friends.
He's a suicide because he took the drugs himself. That's why his spirit is bound to this place.
I missed him terribly.
It's shocking. Death takes everyone who has feelings for Olena. But why did this particular young man, with whom it all started, contact the psychics?
The spirit says he's innocent, and he's also a victim. And he adds that you were there together. Where was it?
I don't know.
He's showing me a grave. And a full moon. He says he was there with you and some other people.
Once when we were kids, we went for a walk and took some wine. We didn't have anything to pour it into. So the guy suggested taking a jar from a grave.
And you took a jar from the grave?
Yes. And we poured the wine into it and drank it.
Did you drink it too?
Yes.
Did Ihor drink it?
Everyone drank it, yes.
Kayal, find the cause at the bottom, remember?
I had a strange vision. She held a transparent vessel with something red inside, like blood. She took a sip, then kissed the men one by one, and they fell dead.
Of all who drank that wine, some died, some hanged themselves, and some fell out of windows. And I lose my husbands.
But why did everyone who drank the wine from that ill-fated vessel die? But Olena is still alive? And how are her husbands connected to all this? Why did they die?
I beg you, this needs to be stopped.
We need to go to that cemetery.
And find the grave from which you took the jar.
I'll show you. It happened in this cemetery. I was the only girl in the party, and the rest were boys, about 8 people. There were no other girls with us. But I didn't see who found the jar or from where it was taken.
I see a vision of a white cross.
Kayal, I think it's here. So, this is Svetlana. This is who we were looking for.
Everyone is scared. Could this really be the same Svetlana, responsible for the deaths of Olena's husbands? But how could that be?
The woman buried here didn't take your husbands to the other world. She's not responsible for their deaths.
A ritual was performed on this grave. It wasn't just a jar. A woman came here and performed some kind of ritual.
And the woman is not in the grave. She lives.
But who is it? What ritual did she perform? And how did it affect those who drank the wine from the jar taken from this grave?
It appears that it was a ritual to transfer widowhood to the deceased. To do it, you need to go to a cemetery and find the grave of a woman with the same name as yours. A special spell is recited on the grave, and an offering consisting of certain items is left. Among them is always a vessel with wine. Olena and the boys took it from the cemetery, and along with this vessel, she took on the transferred widowhood.
It seems that the wine from the ritual remained at the bottom of the vessel. The boys who drank it suffered, and as the only female in the company, you took on the widowhood.
This is your mistake, yours and of those people who were with you.
I understand why the spirit of Olena's second husband, who died in an accident, wanted us to come and stop the widowhood. Because he is primarily concerned about their daughters, Maria and Victoria. The girls will inherit their mother's fate, and with it, the widowhood.
It turns out that shortly before his death, Andrei promised Olena that he would do everything to ensure their daughter's safety.
How can I atone for such guilt? What do I need to do?
We need to perform a ritual. Olena took on the widowhood, transferred to the buried woman. And what is widowhood? It's certain encoded information that is imposed on a woman's karma. We needed to seal the information in Olena's headscarf and burn it. This way, the widowhood program would be neutralized. Close your eyes and leave, and don't look back. Never return to this cemetery again.
Thank you with all my heart.
A year after the investigation, we called Olena.
Olena, hello.
Hello, Yaroslava. I'm very glad to see you. I got married. I love this man very much. We'll have a baby soon. I'm pregnant.
My congratulations.
You helped me greatly, and I know that things will get better.
A young mother of 2 children died under mysterious circumstances. The family is convinced that a mystical force took her to the other world. Don't miss out. The psychics will expose the deadly supernatural entity. 32-year-old Valentina Bravarska from a small Ukrainian village died under unexplained circumstances 9 months into pregnancy.
Her death left too many questions. She was carrying a child and had no problems with her health, and then she was gone just like that.
Only 2 weeks were left until the due date. On that spring day, Valentina went for her final planned ultrasound and felt ill right outside the doctor's office.
She was talking and laughing in the car. Everything was fine, but then she suddenly felt unwell in the corridor, and that was it. She never recovered.
Medics diagnosed her with a stroke and immediately proceeded to perform a C-section. They saved the baby, but lost the struggle for the mother's life.
Her skull got flooded with blood and her brain started boiling.
For Valerii, Valentina's husband, the death of his wife became the tragedy of his life. Left with 2 children, the widower secluded himself from the world and has been avoiding any conversations about his late wife.
His wound is still too raw. He loved her very much.
But Valentina's death hit her children, Nastya and newborn Sofia, the hardest.
The elder girl is at such a pivotal age, 13 years old. She needs her mother to be by her side, and the little one is just a tiny baby.
Valentina's family is convinced that some sort of mysticism is involved in her death, as recently the woman had been having nightmares in which she drowned in black water.
She would wake up sitting on her bed and howling like a wolf. She didn't understand what was happening to her.
Half a year before the tragedy, Valentina's older daughter also had a terrifying dream. She saw her mother on the floor, but when she grabbed her by the hand, she felt it was cold as ice.
She said, "Mom, I had a dream that you died." And Valentina said, "That means I'll live a long life."
Valentina's niece, Yulia, is certain that the psychics can help uncover the reasons behind her beloved aunt's death.
Something evil is happening here. Someone, or maybe something, cursed us, our family.
Valentina's husband refused to meet with the psychics, saying he couldn't bear to hear about his wife's suffering again. Therefore, Yulia arranged a meeting with the psychics in the nearby city, from where they would travel together to the village where Valentina lived with her family.
I had a very unpleasant experience. I was working with a photo, and suddenly I felt the presence of some entity. It was hanging in the air, transparent, like a curtain, a human-like figure with long, thin tentacles. And it was reaching out to my throat. I looked up, and something entered my mind, trying to hypnotize me. I blacked out. I came to myself sitting in the kitchen, and my hand was holding a knife, covered in blood. It was so terrifying.
It's truly horrifying. But who hypnotized the psychic? And is it related to the investigation?
Strange. Yaroslava, I was in a great hurry to catch my flight to Ukraine. On my way to the airport in Baku, I had a nagging feeling that something was about to happen. Suddenly, I saw a woman in a black cloak standing in the middle of the road, screaming at me. I'm an experienced driver, but I got terrified. There was a child next to her. I swerved the wheel onto the oncoming lane and almost collided with a truck. The car rolled over, and I flew into a ditch. If it weren't for the people's help, I'd have most probably died. I think there's some force that prevented us both from getting here. To my right, I sense a ghost of a woman who's been hindering us. She says we shouldn't have come here.
The psychic sees a woman again. Is it the same woman he saw on his way to Baku? Or someone else?
Hello.
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 Yulia came to the meeting with the psychics not alone, but with her mother, Olena, who is Valentina's sister.
My sister was pregnant and died. We think some mystical forces are involved.
Wait a moment.
As soon as Olena started talking about Valentina and I tried to tune into her, the ghost of the woman who's been haunting us lunged at me and started choking me.
It's unbelievable. Why is this woman constantly hindering the psychic? Who is she? And what does she have to do with Valentina's death?
I need to lay out the cards. It wasn't her destiny. Look, a woman in a wreath. She's happy, and she was supposed to have a long life.
I'd like to review her fate to understand better. The stars say she was supposed to be standing here with us, with a long life ahead of her.
And next to her, there's a person she loves. And some business they started together.
They ran a store.
Thanks to the owner's kindness and constant smile, the store quickly gained popularity among customers. The couple traded building materials, household chemicals, seedlings, and other goods that are in demand in the countryside. But the happy, and now financially secure, couple somehow couldn't conceive their long-awaited second child.
For some reason, they couldn't do it. Years went by and she couldn't have another child.
Finally, God had mercy and gave them a child. But little Sophia was born, and Valentina passed away.
I feel like a part of my life, a half of me, has been taken away.
I'm having a vision of someone on the brink of life and death.
She spent 25 days in a coma, unable to wake up.
I see her being operated on.
They first did the C-section and then a craniotomy.
Everyone who knew Valentina awaited her recovery and tried to help however they could. In almost every local store, there was a box for donations to raise money for her treatment.
We all hoped she would pull through and would live and raise her little girl.
But why did such a tragedy befall a young, healthy woman whose stars foretold a long and happy life?
I sensed that she had problems with her husband shortly before her death. They argued, or even had a fight.
Maybe because she said she would go for her final ultrasound on Friday, and he suggested going on Monday instead. She said, "No, I want to go on Friday, so take me there." And it happened to her on Friday.
Her husband turned away from you, and there's some resentment. He bears a grudge against you, and you feel the same towards him.
While Valentina was alive, we stuck together and tried to be friends, but after she's gone, we became like total strangers.
I feel a strange energy. Valentina's husband is hiding from someone.
That's kind of true.
I see you suspected he had another woman.
I've known all my life that Valentina was with him, but it's hard for me to see someone else around him.
We need to talk to him.
He should be at the store now.
When the psychics arrive there, they find the store's door locked, even though people who gathered around the psychics claim the man is inside. However, the psychics cannot reach him. But why? Is he hiding something? Could he be involved in his wife's death?
He cries, trying to hide it from everyone else, but he still cries because his heart is filled with tears.
I sensed a strong energy of fear. The man is terribly worried about his children. He loves them very much. His younger daughter almost died with her mother. He couldn't have wished for their deaths.
Such relationships in a family are rare. He understood and respected her. It was a model family.
I can feel Valentina's children now. Strangely, despite being sisters, they might become enemies in the future.
At first, I knew that Nastya was outraged that she was there, but her mother wasn't.
She was her mother's favorite. She loved her so much that you could say she's a spoiled child.
I'd like to address Nastya. I hope she watches this program. Nastya, I saw your mom's spirit. She says she loves you and little Sophia very, very much. She wants you to be friends with Sophia. And stop seeing your sister as the reason for your mom's death. She loves you both very, very much.
My goodness, this entity again. I saw that transparent tool-like entity again. And I was very afraid for the people gathered around because that entity had immense power.
Yaroslava, I saw a woman whose head was on fire. I saw the flames.
Wait, it's like something's burning on her here.
Her veil caught fire during the engagement ceremony.
In the church, she carried a candle, and the flame reached her veil, and it started burning.
That was a very bad sign because right before her death, Valentina felt a hellish fire in her head from the brain hemorrhage. Her brain literally burned from the inside.
Then, was the veil the true cause for Valentina's death?
Yaroslava, I also saw that the dress Valentina wore when she got married didn't belong to her.
I used to work with a woman at the health department, and her daughter got married a little earlier, and then we bought that dress from them. They sold it to us cheaper.
We both got married in that dress. Valentina wore it first, and I wore it 2 weeks later for my wedding.
At first, I thought the cause was the dress. The energetic burden of another person could have passed on to Valentina, but you wore the dress after her, and thank God you're fine. No, it's not about the dress at all.
I constantly felt that terrible entity next to me. It couldn't have been caused by some talisman, hex, or evil eye. Not even a curse. I couldn't even imagine what kind of force it was in my worst nightmare.
I've seen something. A man's spirit. He was Valentina's family, a blood relative.
Our brother.
He suffocated.
It'll soon be 40 days since he hanged himself.
Oh my God.
Valentina and Olena had a younger brother named Sergei. He was 42 years old. One day, he left for work and never returned. They searched for him for 4 days until they finally found him in the forest, hanging.
Yaroslava, Sergei's spirit is telling me now that before his death, he had a dream of Valentina. And moments before he committed suicide, he saw her in some kind of black robe.
Strange. It turns out Valentina appears in her niece's dreams wearing the very same outfit.
I had a dream. She was wearing something with a hood, and her hair was black, and she had on this black clothing. I said, "Valentina, don't go. let me hug you one last time, but she took a girl, a little black-haired one, and they walked away.
It's horrifying. This woman had 3 children, Valentina, Olena, and Serhii. 2 of them are no longer alive. Valentina appeared to her brother in a black robe, and now she's appearing in the same way to Olena and her daughter Yulia's dreams. Does this mean they will die too?
I can sense Valentina now. But she's not alone. Who is that little girl with her?
You see, when she died, a little girl who lived next door died too. She was only 3 years old.
They said it was pneumonia.
Valentina appeared to her brother in a dream, and he died. Then this neighbor's little girl, with whom Valentina's family saw her in their dreams. Valentina appeared to many, and all these people are in danger.
I was driving to the airport to fly to Ukraine when suddenly a woman in black appeared before my eyes, with a little girl beside her. Now I understand. It was Valentina. For some reason, she didn't want me to come here.
We need to go to the cemetery and talk to her there. I see the same entity here. It's milky white, like tulle. It's a human figure with very long fingers, like tentacles, and it's looking at us. It's standing by her grave.
Yaroslava. Once I tried to help a terminally ill patient. I was with him when a ladder descended from heaven, and a black creature appeared. It was transparent, with long tentacles for hands. And at that moment, the patient screamed that death had come for him.
It's mind-blowing. Does it mean that, from the very beginning of the investigation, death has been following the psychics?
Valentina knew she would die. She saw it in a dream 2.5 months before the tragedy.
She practically didn't sleep. She said there wasn't a day when something didn't come to her in a dream.
She started screaming once. We asked her what happened, and she said, "Look, there are someone's fingers on my leg." She said, "A terrible being was pulling me somewhere." And indeed, there were finger marks on her leg.
Olena, I'm summoning your sister's spirit now. As blood relatives, you should also be able to feel her.
My arms are getting numb.
I see her standing next to you. I'm asking why her life ended so suddenly. Valentina says she's a messenger of death. There's some connection between her and death. There was some kind of deal between them.
It's shocking, but is it possible for someone to make a deal with death? And if that's really the case, why did Valentina do it?
Death was supposed to take someone else. So Valentina, in a sense, gave herself to death in exchange.
Her baby was supposed to die. Valentina decided to give her life instead so Sophia would survive.
She even spent some time at the hospital struggling to keep the baby alive.
A mother's word. The mother's word is more powerful than any kind of ritual. So she basically exchanged her life for her child's. But there was a price to pay. Basically, she went into death's service.
Strange things started happening to her after she got pregnant. I see her arguing with a woman.
Wait. The woman is a stranger she met on the street.
A gypsy.
Suddenly, at the cemetery, a friend of Nastia, Valentina's daughter, appeared. The girl heard the words of the psychics and wanted to talk to them. Apparently, Nastia had told her friend something similar.
She told me that Aunt Valentina met a gypsy woman. She ran up to her and grabbed her hand.
During the argument, grabbing Valentina by the hands, the woman cursed her baby. The gypsy woman said outright, "Your child will die."
Valentina was extremely worried about her child. She was in the hospital twice, so she took the gypsy's words very personally. She believed they would come true. And as a true mother, She was ready to do anything for her child. That's why she asked death to take her instead and let her baby live. And in return for the service rendered to her by death, she became its messenger. She appeared to everyone in that black robe, and all those people died.
We need to pull Valentina's soul out of death's embrace. Break their deal.
We don't need to perform any rituals at the cemetery.
Let's move away from the cemetery. This place will do. We need to gather some kindling. And there were a lot of people around. And the ritual that Yaroslava and I were going to perform was too dangerous, as we were dealing with the afterlife and death itself. So, I decided to protect everyone by giving out my enchanted candles. The blood bond is the strongest in the world, and that's why Olena was, so to speak, a conduit for us between Valentina and death itself. Only then could we break the deal and protect her entire family.
This is it. Now she's free.
Will she be fine out there?
I see her on the riverbank, her feet in the water. Valentina says she feels free now. There's a happy smile on her face.
I'm incredibly grateful to you. Thank you for coming to us.
We're all shocked. Valentina sacrificed her soul for the sake of her baby, so that little Sophia would live. I'm shocked.
If you're impressed by this story, give this video a like, and don't forget to subscribe to our channel. Many more stunning investigations are coming up.